Good morning, you guys. So one day I was watching TV, flipping through the channels, and there was nothing really to watch, so I decided to change it to the news. And I don't really watch the news because it kind of bores me, and I know as a college student I should pay more attention to it. So I was watching the news, and something about ISIS pops up. So I've heard about it, but I didn't really pay attention to it because it didn't affect me personally. But I was watching the news, and I was watching it, and it really interested me. I kind of researched it even before this, and I felt like eventually what is going on with ISIS will possibly affect us in the future. And just because right now it might not affect us as college students personally, we should pay more attention to the global issues going on nowadays, especially ISIS, now that it's so important. So you should listen to me, because you will get a better understanding and more knowledge about ISIS. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what ISIS exactly is. The second thing I'm going to talk about is the membership of ISIS. And the third thing I'm going to talk about is the intentions ISIS has. So the first thing I will talk about is what ISIS is. So the origin of the name ISIS comes from the goddess Isis in Egyptian mythology. She was believed to be the ideal mother and wife and the patroness of nature and magic. When it comes to her worshiping, it all started at the end of the New Kingdom in the 4th century BC. It was on Philae, an island on the Nile, where they built a great temple for her. And in ancient stories, she was believed to have magical powers and was represented in the form of a human. She was also believed to have the personality of the goddess Hathor, who was the goddess of love and gaiety. So the second thing I will be talking about is the membership of ISIS. So there are 3 types of fighter in ISIS. The first ones are the psychopaths, which are very violent ones. I mean, the name speaks for itself. The second ones are the true believers, which are more pious, and the third ones are the Sunni pragmatists, who are one of the most largest and important groups of fighters in ISIS. So the type of members in ISIS can widely vary. It can go from your well-educated urban gym rat to all the way to your former stoner who rapped in London, which he went by the name El Jinni, and his real name is Abdel Majed. Something like that. It was confusing. But also, when it comes to influencing people to join, they use social media nowadays, because obviously social media is very big in our generation, and it's a better way to get their message across. So what they do is they kind of target people who are obviously easily influenced, and they may be in a state of depression in a way, maybe in midlife crisis, some sort of crisis. They're trying to find something meaningful in their life, they're trying to find a path. People who are driven by the passion and need to find something, to find the right and something wrong, just to find justice for something. And there are about 10,000 to 15,000 fighters in ISIS, and there's 6 individuals at the helm of the group. And they're all from Iraq, and 3 of them are believed to have worked in Saddam Hussein's army. And these commanders are currently coordinating military operations with the Assad forces, providing them information about rebel fighters. So the third thing I will be talking about is the intentions ISIS has. So ISIS and Al-Qaeda are competing over the influence over Islamic extremist groups, and ISIS is believed to may overtake Al-Qaeda as being one of the most influential groups globally. And the relationship between these 2 groups is more of a matter of mutual interest rather than shared ideology. And right now what ISIS is doing to also make people aware of them, especially the US, is they're doing kidnappings of of American journalists and British journalists, such as this picture. I'm sure you guys seen this picture all over the news, James Foley. And the guy in the black, if you guys remember what I recently talked about before, the rapper El Jinny, Majid, he is believed to be the suspect of killing James Foley. And they also do crucifixions, beheadings of children and non-Muslims in some areas of Iraq and Syria. And they're believed to have overtaken the Mosul, which is the second largest city in Iraq, and they're believed to also overtake other cities in Iraq and Syria, which seem to have been reached recently. The murders they've committed are very cruel. Like I said, they've done beheadings of children and non-Muslims, sexual violence. They rape minority girls, the minorities in Iraq. They rape them and force them into marriage. They do all these horrible things just to make us aware of them. So, in conclusion, today I taught you about ISIS and what it is, and I hope by giving this speech you took something out of it and made you guys more aware and maybe more interested into looking into it, and hopefully this will help you guys in the future. Thank you.